I think a good distinction that could be helpful for people to make is the difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is like the dualistic mode. It's like the mode that's based on fear. Sympathy has to do with feeling bad for people. And when you're feeling bad for people, that actually only reinforces their problem and reinforces their disempowerment. Whereas empathy comes from unity. Empathy is good. Empathy is just the way that you're able to feel what someone else is feeling, and not from a place of disempowerment or like reinforcing their problem or feeling bad for them, but just authentically connecting with them and feeling how they're feeling. And it goes, empathy can, it's good things too. It's not like you only have empathy for bad things. If someone's feeling amazing and you're highly empathetic, you can tune into their amazingness. And that's what like authentic connection is. Like the more, you could say the more authentically you're connecting with someone, the more empathy there is, because that connection, it's like you're merging, like that's the unity, like the two of you are kind of like merging and you're blending that kind of like experience, like you're feeling into what the other person is feeling and the other person is feeling into what you're feeling, and then it creates that shared unified space. And that's also the experience of understanding. Like that's what it means to understand something, is to experience something. Like understanding isn't actually a mental thing. It's like, to understand what it's like to eat an apple, you eat an apple. It's like you can study about apples your entire life, and have all the knowledge and all the mental knowledge about eating an apple. But there's a big difference between knowledge and understanding. Knowledge is a mental thing, but understanding is an experiential thing. To understand something is to experience something. So when you understand somebody or you feel understood by somebody, that's actually the experience of empathy. It's that merging of that experience. Like when someone understands you or you understand them, it means that you're able to fully feel into an experience, whatever sort of experience or like story or whatever that they're describing and like you guys are interacting with. And that's the feeling of understanding. And understanding feels very, very good. Like we crave to be understood and to understand others, because what we're actually craving is unity. It's that merging, that 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 merging on that equal level. Because I mean that's that's also unconditional love. Like the more unconditionally loving you are, the more empathy that you'll have, because you'll just be non-resistant to things as they are, and then you can feel into anything that anyone is feeling, and yeah, just like be with people exactly as they are and just be with them. And it doesn't mean like kind of like blending and merging with them in a disempowering way where you're trying to like fix their problems kind of thing, or like disempowering them like subtly, like kind of like in training or like in coaching into them that they need you to heal or something, but more so just being able to be with people exactly as they are and being able to tune into the source of experiences and feelings that people are having, and then being able to serve as a model or a sort of like signature of light, like to be a sort of like lighthouse or energetic model in terms of how to neutralize and release that experience. So it's like you can like empathize with someone's experience, and then you can just be completely neutral to that experience, and not trying to like enmesh or heal it, but just honor it exactly as it is. And that's actually how you help people solve their problems in the deepest way. Is not by trying to like, it's not actually by like you really helping them solve their problems, because that tends to reinforce like disempowerment and like lack of sovereignty. It's rather in holding your own sovereignty and being able to serve as a sort of like energetic model or lighthouse in terms of how to be with a challenging experience from a place of non-reactivity and non-resistance and just that like transcendent neutrality. And that's when we actually like, yeah, like that's when we feel understood, and it feels really good to be with someone who we feel very understood and seen by. Because that's the thing, when we're feeling bad and like, say we're like grieving, like say like you had your mother die or something, or you had like your significant other die or something, like this is the common kind of scene you'll see in certain small movies, or just like certain movies where it's like the person is grieving, being upset about the death, and then lots and lots of people go and they like give them pity and they give them sympathy and they act like they care about their problem and they like give them food or whatever, but like it doesn't really, like none of it really helps the person that's grieving. Like the person just feels unseen and unheard, and like people aren't really acknowledging like the problem that the protagonist is having, like the character. They're just kind of, they're just sympathizing for them. They're not really having that empathy and meeting them on that equal like heartfelt level. But then there will be that one person who has experienced that themselves, or they've integrated that, and they're not moving from reactivity or from sympathy, they're just moving from empathy. That's the person that will like then go and be with the protagonist, be with the person that's grieving, and they can see them exactly as they are, and they can talk about that experience in a real and like impersonal like way, not from like a personal kind of like sympathetic way, but just talk about it how it is. Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, like it sucks to like go through this, like this is a horrible thing, but also you got to stop feeling bad for yourself and you got to like get it together, and you got to like it's when someone has empathy to our situation, they can meet us as an equal and they can talk to us in a very real and honest and empowering way. Whereas when someone has sympathy for us, or when we have sympathy for someone else, that just reinforces the problem. It's like feeling bad for someone. It's disempowering. It's like encouraging victimhood and like negative patterns. But empathy is what heals. Empathy is authenticity, is understanding. Like to understand something is empathy. That's really like, that's the experience of understanding. And that's what we're always craving in any human connection. Like we don't like when we're with someone and there's that gap. There's not that authentic connection, or there's not that understanding. Like we don't feel understood, or we don't feel like we understand the person. Whereas when we have a conversation or connection which we enjoy, the reason we enjoy it is because we feel understood and we are understanding them. There's that union. That's what we like about a relationship, is like the union, the understanding, the connection. Because that's what we're craving. That's what's behind all of our desires, is we're seeking the possibility of unity. And it's not just in human connection. I mean, it's with anything. Like all of our desires, they're really just sort of symbolic projections of the deeper one true desire, which is the relinquishment of all desire, which is just the return to the Garden of Eden, and just living from non-resistance, just living from that transcendent flow. And then, yeah, and then you can be with anyone, you can be with anything, and you have very high levels of it. But it doesn't sympathy. It doesn't people lack or reinforce empowerment. It comes from true empowerment, true sovereignty. You serve as a model of sovereignty, and you can, by serving as that model and that sort of lighthouse, you are sharing those light codes with people just by being with them. It's a sort of effortless, energetic transmission that happens. And that can be very profoundly healing for people. It's a very like significant experience, and that can happen with anything. You don't ever even have to talk about healing or talk about spiritual terms or anything to heal someone. You heal someone just by being with them, just by authentically connecting with them. And that's how you heal yourself as well. It goes both ways. Healing is oftentimes, it's a mutual sort of benefit. That's what's beautiful about it. It's a very magical kind of thing. But that's really key to see. You want to have empathy. You don't want to have sympathy. You don't want to be feeling bad for people, but you can empathize with people. You can acknowledge like pain and suffering and like how serious that stuff is. But that's the key. From like empathy actually has to do with impersonalness and transcendent neutrality, because the only way to really empathize with something very, very bad or like intense or painful without going into sympathy and getting pulled into the reactivity and the fear-based sort of like energy around it, is by being is from that impersonalness, from that transcendent neutrality. And then you can be with the experience exactly as it is, and then that's how you can actually help the person, because that's the solution to any problem, is that transcendent neutrality. That's when solutions flow through. That's when there's space for the infinite love and the infinite intelligence of your infinite being to make its way into the experience. And that's when like creative solutions come up, like the right words come up, the right phrases come up, like the right just things organically come up, or even just like you just have an authentic laugh with the person, or an authentic cry, or like whatever it may be. But like from that place, it can just flow out, and it flows out from a place of empowerment. Sympathy reinforces disempowerment. Sympathy is like, it's like trauma soothing. It's like soothing the symptoms, but not fixing the root cause. And like, when you're just soothing the symptoms, it's very addicting and alluring, but that's not what you want. You don't want to soothe your symptoms. You want to heal the thing at its base, at its core primordial levels. And that happens through empathy, through transcendent neutrality, through impersonalness. And that's true empowerment. Whereas symptom soothing, that actually reinforces disempowerment. That reinforces the idea that you need a teacher, or you need someone to help you, or you're basically that you're not a sovereign being. Whereas the empathy isn't always easy. Sympathy sometimes feels nicer because it's like the feeling sorry, the victimhood, like that kind of thing. It feels sweeter, but then it actually leads to pain and suffering and like stagnation and all the negative things. Whereas empathy can be a little bit more challenging. It doesn't necessarily have that candy-like sweetness that the trauma soothing or the symptom soothing has. It can almost be a little bit more painful because you have to get at the root of the problem. But then that actually heals the problem at its primordial level, and then things start to rise and flow. And then that's how you actually have the deepest like transformations and heal your wounds for good, like heal your problems for good, like heal the grieving or whatever the problem that was coming up. That's how you heal it for good. And that feels much, much better than the symptom soothing. The symptom soothing is like eating candy, and it's good for about 30 seconds, but then you keep doing it and it just makes you sick and you feel worse. Whereas the empathy is like, it's like eating healthy. It's like taking the time to cook a healthy meal and like do it in the right way, and like it's a little bit more challenging in a way, but the reward is much, much greater, and it's much healthier, and it supports growth, and it supports your system, and then it opens up into more and more possibility and expansion. Whereas again, the candy, the sympathy, that just makes you sick. That just reinforces disempowerment. But yeah, that's a really good thing to see for people. You heal. Empathy is healing. Empathy is authenticity, is understanding. It's all the same movement. It's unity. It's the unity on that heartfelt level, like being able to tune into what someone else is feeling, and not from a place of disempowerment, from a place of empowerment, from a place of sovereignty, from just non-resistance, just that transcendent flow. And that's how you heal others and heal yourself in the most effective way possible. And you help teach others. The most important part is you're helping people to become empowered sovereign beings. You don't want to be a healer that is reinforcing disempowerment or symptom soothing. You want to be the one that's getting at the root of the problem, getting at the very, very root, and healing people at their base level, like really like true transformation, true permanent enlivened embodied transformation. That happens through empathy. That happens through understanding, through authenticity. That's key.